All right. Welcome back to Geekset Rewind, our recap, rewatch show that we are doing, and we are embarking on a new show. We are jumping back into some Marvel, and we are recapping and reviewing Secret Invasion. Now,
time we do some Marvel stuff again.
I know we've been doing a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And
I mean, about time Marvel had something new weekly for us to do.
That is true. And, giving y'all a heads up right now, we're going to be recapping episode 1 and 2 because we was a little bit late to 1 and everything like that. So this one's going to be 1 and 2, and then moving forward, we'll get back to the regular episodes and everything. So for this one, I will read both synopses, and then we'll just break them down. We're going to read them both. Okay. That way we can go into it. And the way we're going to talk about it, let's just talk about episode 1 and 2 as if it was one episode.
Yeah.
So that way we don't got to be like, oh, this episode, we don't know that one. Like, we can just kind of go back and everything. All right. So in Moscow, Talos pursues Everett Ross for... Oh, hold on, let me move this for bigger. All right. In Moscow, Talos pursues Everett Ross for killing CIA agent Prescott, who theorized that shape-shifting Skrull rebels, frustrated with the lack of progress of Talos and Nick Fury, is finding them a new home, intend to incite a war between Russia and the United States in order to take over Earth. Maria Hill arrives to assist Ross and discovers that he is a Skrull in disguise. Hill calls Fury, who has been working in space following the blip. Returning to Earth, Fury learns that Talos has been exiled from the Skrull community and replaced by Gravik, who is leading the rebels. Fury is kidnapped by MI6 agents working for his old acquaintance Sonya Fosworth, who refuses to work with Fury to stop Gravik. Using a bug to eavesdrop on her and the UK Prime Minister, Fury and Talos locate another rebel who has provided dirty bombs to the rebels. One of these rebels is Talos' daughter. How do you pronounce her name?
Gaia. Definitely not.
Yeah, Gaia. Who was unaware that her mother Soren has been killed by the rebels. Gaia reveals the rebels plan to attack Vasnadine Square? I don't know how to pronounce that.
Vasnadine.
Okay, Vasnadine Square on Unity Day. Fury, Hill, and Talos attempt to intercept the bombs but are unable to stop Gravik from detonating them. In the ensuing chaos, Gravik disguised himself as Fury and kills Hill. So that's for episode 1. Here goes the episode 2. In 1997, Fury meets a young Gravik and consoles him while giving a speech to Soren and the Skrull immigrants, promising to find them a new home. In the present day, after escaping the bomb attack, Fury learns from Talos that there are 1 million Skrulls living on Earth amongst the humans. In anger, Fury parts ways with Talos and later meet with Hill's mother, Elizabeth, to explain the circumstances of her death. As the United States is implicated in the bombing attack, Gravik meets with members of Skrull Council who express disapproval of his actions. Gravik reminds the Council of Fury's failure to deliver on his promise and appoints himself the new Skrull general with the majority in favor. Council member Shirley Sagar, who refuses to submit and is allowed to leave unharmed, secretly contacts Talos, who asks her to set up a meeting between him and Gravik. In London, Fury meets with Colonel James Rhodes, fuck that nigga right now, and explains to him Skrull threat. To Fury's dismay, Rhodes gives him a military discharge due to his presence at the bombing attack, which escalated the tension between the United States and other international governments. Fosworth arrives at a butcher shop where the Skrull Brogan is imprisoned after his safe house was found. She interrogates him while cutting his thumb and using an injection that warms his body. She learns that Gravik is building a machine for the purpose of strengthening the Skrulls, and a scientist couple named Dalton is involved. Wait, a scientist couple named? Their both name was Dalton?
Mm-hmm. Last names, I'm assuming.
Oh, okay. All right. The way they said it, that threw me off. All right. Gaia secretly discovers that the Skrulls are experimenting on various alien samples like Groot, the Frost Beast, Coal Obsidian, and an extremist patient. Afterwards, she accompanies Gravik on a mission to rescue Brogan as Fosworth escapes. Suspecting him as having to talk, Gravik has Brogan. Is it Brogan or Brogan? I've been saying Brogan.
I'm pretty sure it's Brogan.
Okay, Brogan put out of his mysteries by Pagan before they can reach their compound. Later, Fury returns to his home where he's greeted with his wife Priscilla, who is secretly a Skrull. So he doesn't know.
I don't think he. I think he knows.
It says secretly in the.
I think secretly it's for everybody else.
Okay, all right. so let's break first.
You're not gonna tell me this because now he lost all credibility. If this nigga don't know, his own wife is a Skrull, fam.
Well, no, that's the. Remember, he was saying the whole thing that he don't be knowing. You don't nobody know.
Nick Fury is just learning this, so we got to give him some grace, bro.
He's been 30 years in the game.
No,
fam.
but he's just learning about the Skrull invasion.
Yeah, because remember, if he only thought it was like a couple hundred,
Yeah.
he ain't know it was 1 million. We don't know when he got married.
Hold on, we jumping in. Hold on. First reaction to let's episode 1 and episode 2. Again, we talked about Marvel Evans giving us a show in a while to really, you know what I'm saying, to break down and everything. How are you guys feeling about the start of Secret Invasion so far?
Shit is tense.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, I like it's a different. I was saying that to somebody else that I really like that Marvel was really jumping out of the, they're out of the box when it comes to all their shows. Like everything, like when it comes to the shows, there isn't a same, like the shows are the same. You know what I'm saying? And we are in espionage, and I feel
which I really love. That's what I love spy espionage, like in general. I mean, I love the Mission Impossible's 007, the Bourne series. Like I love spy espionage, and it's one of the reasons why I love Captain America, his series, his movies, because it deals so much with that, right? Yeah. And so this jumping back into it because I'm excited because I love that, and then adding the alien aspect of espionage to it, like I liked it again. And then they started off immediately, well not immediately, but like to kill off a main character that's been in the Marvel since day one.
Yeah. I didn't expect her to die. I mean, like if you would have said, "Yo, she's gonna die," I wouldn't have expected it to be at the end of episode 1. Like that seemed like it would have been a mid-season or close to the end.
Yeah, like you would think that she would have, because I definitely was expecting him and Maria to really kind of, because they usually handle their shit together.
Yeah, I thought they was gonna be like the two going on doing all of this.
I'd have been fine if she'd have still, like, because she didn't take a sacrifice. She literally got murdered. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd have been fine. Like in my mind, it would have been like, oh, I'm gonna do whatever I can to save Nick in his dire need, and probably would have got killed. Yeah. But to really just be like not necessarily betrayed, but you really got tricked. Like you thought
really got tricked, bro. And then like the whole Super Skrull aspect and just understanding like, okay, like this is extremist. Like I get that you were saying that Nick Fury left y'all, but the nigga got blipped. Again, unless he didn't get blipped and he chose to go up there with the Skrulls. And he's been up there the whole time. See, that's the whole.
Well, no, I don't think he's up there with the Skrulls, by the way. I think he's just up there with it sounds like it's with the remnants of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, whatever that ship was.
Yeah, I think that's the remnants of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay,
they're
whatever,
building Saber.
I thought it was a Skrull up there.
I thought it was Skrulls up there too.
That he talked to.
Maybe like I don't think it's like a group. I don't think
it's just a Skrull. I think
remember,
it was remembrance.
They had that's why Rhodes was talking to, I don't know if it was the president or if it was just somebody else in the government in the first episode where he was like, no, he's supposed to be up there with Saber.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it's clearly a government thing.
But either way it goes, I'm like, bro, like I said, to me, if you get blipped, then you can't blame him for being like not finding y'all a new home because there's shit that happened.
No,
but
also those years before the blip, I'm sure that also it comes in.
Well, I guess it depends on if you believed in the Thanos threat or not. Because remember, Nick Fury, his whole reason for setting up the Avengers and everything was like there's all these worldly threats, right? Yeah, but so he was busy.
But
respectfully, he was busy.
Before all of that, I'm assuming Gravik. Remember, he said he met Gravik in '97.
Yeah, true.
Thanos didn't become an issue till like 2018?
Right. But the whole reason for him starting the Avengers Initiative was I foresee this threat, so I got to put things in motion.
He put this in motion because of the Skrulls. Like, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. But you ain't helping niggas who help you put this in motion?
Well, he ain't finished his mission yet. And then when he finished his mission, another threat came.
It was Captain Threat. It was like the nigga had divine timing, really.
No,
because the nigga said, I gotta get some people together.
Bro, if you promise me something and 20 years later you still ain't delivered, I'm a little mad.
Because you don't believe in the threat. You like, man, that threat shouldn't have took y'all away. That was a 20-year threat that
But
they was dealing with.
Y'all cold. He deserves to be a little mad.
This ain't like, oh, we got to stop a government. Like, dog, we don't even know what these niggas is. These niggas, I saw a whole portal happen and people and things was coming out this portal.
But I'm also mad at Skrulls because if y'all been living amongst people, y'all been seeing all this shit going on too. Like y'all see a nigga busy.
Yeah, and we see. And then here's the thing, and this why it goes because we heard Gravik's speech, bro. He like y'all niggas doing this to yourself. He blaming human. I mean, he blaming humankind. So that's why I believe like.
He also a young nigga in terms of that.
They don't care about the threat. They like nigga Thanos, man, nigga, whatever, dog. Like y'all could have still found us.
I mean, that's how Gravik really like Gravik pretty much on like, bro. I don't give a fuck how the humans get rid, how we get rid of the humans. Thanos, another nigga, me. I don't care, but this our place.
This is us.
This our place.
He on some Christopher Columbus shit.
He definitely got.
Gravik is Christopher Columbus.
On some level, that's bogus. On some level,
what you mean is that bogus?
On some level, I can understand the anger. If I was a refugee, you said, "Hey, I got you."
Okay.
And 20 years later, that "Hey, I got you" is still coming. I'm going to be a little mad.
But and your response is, so let's wipe out the world so we can take over.
He's an extreme. I'm saying on some level, I understand the anger.
I just want to like why we couldn't have a conversation about it.
He might have been trying.
I just got back.
I just got back. What if he been trying for you? What if he been trying for years?
But I've been gone. I just got back now. Like I'm here now. I know you mad. I get it. But I'm here now. You know what I'm saying?
And look, this is how I get your attention. This is how I have to get.
You don't have to do that.
So
he did.
We can just go for coffee.
So
the only reason he back is because he had to do this.
So let's get into the timeline of the events. So the opening scene in very like in general, we come to find out now. Do y'all believe that this Everett Ross in this show at that moment was a Skrull, or do you believe that he's been a Skrull for a grip?
I think it was just for the show. Cause I think he. I even watching it, he was like, this thing, he's doing too much. Like, you definitely, like, I felt like he was really, like, trying to get information. Okay. Where you can be like, you definitely undercover doing something.
Yeah, because when that reveal happened, that was the first, again, also, in a spy espionage movie, from your opening scene gave me a million questions. Like, you know what I'm saying? You had this opening scene, you're like, all right, what's going on? And then when he got shot, I was like, oh, shit. Yeah. And then when it turned to a Skrull, I was like, wait a minute, what? Like,
I ain't gonna lie. I think Everett Ross been a Skrull for years.
You think so?
For years.
That's what
I mean. It's really crazy. This is only 6 episodes because I feel like watching this is going to question like the whole time.
And that's why it's going to be so crazy. They're going to give us 6 episodes, and we going to question everything moving forward. You
got to see where it reverberate after that. Yeah. I think Everett Ross and Wakanda forever was a Skrull. Everett Ross and all of them and Wakanda and Black Panther.
And there's been damning evidence because he's like, okay, you got to think, all right, if Everett Ross, if that Skrull was really on the side of Gravik, right? Who Everett Ross had front seat at every issue.
Why you think he was so sympathetic to the other side?
Yeah, he had front seat to everything. The Civil War, he was there. He could have easily put Baron Zemo on because you got to think. They always say one of the knocks, even as people praise Civil War, one of the knocks is, bro, in order for this to happen, in order for this movie to happen, everything had to happen precise. Like how did they know where like they was like Bucky would have had to been in the city when the bomb went off, so that way that he can get blamed for killing T'Challa's dad. And he was like, and then he was like, who told Carter, like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, everybody was over there when to show the footage when Bucky killed Iron Man's parents. Like Everett Ross was literally, he had prime seat to manipulate it all if he was. So like it's crazy. And again, but that's
great. Yeah.
And look, when you that mad because the nigga ain't been answering these general existential questions about where is my family gonna live for 20 years?
And that's why
you set that in motion.
And that's why I love this show right now so far, because when the Secret Invasion comic came out, it literally shook the comic world because you're like, wait a minute. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I think in the comic, Captain America turned out to be a Skrull. Like, there was like so many people, but they've been Skrulls back in like all these comics we were reading. Like, what? There was a Skrull there? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I love that this show is also doing that.
Skrull, do you take the memories and everything?
Yep.
Yeah.
You didn't remember that? You didn't see that scene where they had them locked up? So in the scene when they was there, she was like, "Now take everything."
Yeah. So that's what I know.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Huh? No, I was gonna say that's what I wanted to talk about. I asked that at the end of last episode about how y'all ain't got no type of code or nothing, because somebody was like, oh, but no, they can take their memories. But it's like, from what we seen yet, they got to do some type of like mind melt, go like this to take the memories. We ain't seen that with Gravik and Fury. So I'm like, they could have at least thought to, hey, I know I ain't been a Skrull, so we got to have something. Because that was somebody's reply to me, like, well, they can take their memories. And it's like, we ain't seen that they can just randomly take the memories. They got to do like touch forehead.
Yeah.
So unless Fury touched forehead, unless it was way back when. I didn't think about that.
Way back when, bro?
Way back in 2000, 1997.
Because I'm like, even with the, like, that's later, but even the wife thing, it's like, people forget, like, there was a 2-year gap that we don't know what happened. So as I said, the 95 is when he met everybody. And then 97 is when Gravik showed up. That's how they showed it in the series. Yeah. But like I said, and what showed in the series was Ogre introducing her. So I'm like,
no, that was Soren. At least that's what he said in the.
Was it Soren?
Yeah,
that's what he said. That's what he said in the synopsis.
In the
he
synopsis,
said Soren.
Soren.
So that's why I'm like, I don't know when he would have met this lady. So that's why there's a million Skrulls. He didn't know there was a million Skrulls.
Yeah.
It goes back to my thing.
Bro, we saw
he
him.
Might not.
Bro, the way that
he
reacted was like, shit. I don't know who to trust. Like, the way he reacted when they told him that a million of us is here. I sent the call out. I didn't know you was going to be back and everything, and a million of us is here. That reaction was bro, I don't know what to do at this point, because now, and even when remember the way he said, "Oh my god," because he's like, "Bro, like I got to go back to one,"
which was hilarious though, because I mean, this nigga was really having like a very old like Nick Fury-ish kind of, like, I'm trying to get some information out you, but we gonna have fun.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Once the nigga said the niggas here, he said, "Hold on, wait."
Bro, he said we done playing.
The fun stop, nigga. Shut this shit down. Like, wait,
nigga, this game is good. Nigga, like,
a million?
Think about you. That's the easiest way. Also,
you've been gone for so long, so you don't know how long you've been gone.
That's the easiest way also to get information.
Yep.
I set your wife up as a Skrull. No matter who you are, whatever secret you hold, you pillow talking with your wife.
Yeah, and then think about it this way: from the time that he learned about the Skrulls, he probably started his research, right? And up until this point, he still has not found a way to distinguish a Skrull from a human.
Yeah, he don't know
right?
that.
But he was like, okay, man.
Pain apparently shows, but I mean, you can't really just go around.
Yeah, you can't just go around and start hitting.
Yeah, but in his head, he's like, all right, I mean, I know there's a couple of hundred, but like, I mean, at least I got far in this research. Then you realize that there's a million and you still don't know how to tell them apart. You're like, bro, this is worse than I thought.
Now, your research. Who's feeding you that research? You might have been going to talk to people. Say I'm talking to you trying to get research on the Skrulls, but you know you a Skrull.
Right.
How I know you ain't leaving me bad information now to get me off the trail?
Which we already started suspecting people. Like, there's been multiple, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, his meeting with Rhodey. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has this meeting. We're looking at him like, bro, you talking wild disrespectful to Nick Fury right now.
Rhodey came out
like, bro.
I mean, he been gone though. Like,
he has been gone.
I don't care, bro. We know in the black culture in general, the way we treat our elders, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
even if
they similar in age, I think.
Nah,
I mean, he a little bit older.
Samuel Jackson is definitely old. Way
Samuel
older.
Jackson in the 70s. I think Cheeto might be in his like.
Cheeto was in his 50s. That's still a 20 age gap, bro.
By the time you get 50 and up, I think y'all just kind of like contemporary. Y'all just contemporary.
Once we all can share that, say it's a discount, nigga.
I know. Yes, in terms of actual age, yes, they're different. But they both above like that 50, 55 range, and y'all just kind of just there.
But like I say, like the other thing, even Nick, he was like, "Hey man, how well you know your detail?" Like he's like, "You gotta ask that for everybody." Like, bro, hey, when that person come over here, like you gotta ask that about everybody.
I mean, it was just like Nick finished. Like I said, like I feel like to be only 6 episodes, like Nick gotta have episode where this nigga's really going crazy, like where he's really panicking.
Well, they're gonna have a moment.
That might be next episode.
They're gonna have a moment where he's like standing in somewhere and he's looking around. It's like, dog, all these motherfuckers can be a Skrull, or none of these.
Because somebody can right now. That's what I'm saying. Like and that's what I said in the beginning. Like, what's bothering me about the show so far is the fact that Nick is off his square. And I get that he's just got here
He got thrown off.
He got thrown off and just got here, and you know what I'm saying? Like he think he was just coming for a little what's the, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all got a little problem, I'm finally come down. Y'all called him to come down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you realize, you know, nigga tell you like it's a million of us. Like hold on, bro.
Well, before that, because remember we jumped ahead to like this episode. In episode 1, when he comes down, he first comes down, he gets kidnapped, and then a terrorist attack happened. So now he's like, fuck, like what the hell, Skrull?
The problem that he said he was coming to solve happened already.
Yeah.
It happened in episode 1.
Yeah, so he's like, wait a minute. He's like, wait, Skrulls is attacking niggas? Like I thought we was like, wait a minute, we on the same side, right? Then, so that was the first thing. He's like, damn, now the states is against us and everything. He's like, yeah. And then in episode 2, he learns that there are millions. He's like, wait a minute, like,
right? Because you realize he left the motherfuckers being good. Like y'all was being good and just minding y'all business. Like I come back and y'all acting like Americans and blowing shit up now? Like, what the fuck is y'all doing?
Because
y'all niggas out here cosplaying.
They the greatest cosplayers ever.
Like, out here LARPing.
Right. And another thing that Marvel has shown, bro, there's no government that's really on the side of the heroes. The government is just MI6.
Everybody is human, fam.
FBI, Secret Service.
What they showing is that every government is truly out for themselves.
They are not.
They really want a piece of the pie.
Fucking out for themselves.
Everybody wants a piece of the pie, fam.
They're like, God.
Everybody seen it. Like I said, I feel like everybody in their own sense is a little bit of racist or whatever you want to call it. Because it's like, why ain't there a superhero cop? Like who just like, you know what? I don't want to be a superhero. I want to use my power to be a cop. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because why would you do that?
Or political, or nigga that's in political. That's like, because like even when what was that in X-Men when you find out what was the general dude, the X-Men that was like a mutant or whatever, or his son was a mutant.
Oh, Angel's dad.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really have nobody in political positions that be like, yeah, I'm actually, you know what I'm saying? Like
because they turn into the boys.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You ain't, because you not really here for human, like for superhuman rights.
But
like, you get into that,
or then you end up being like Rhodey, or the Rhodey that we are seeing, because like he's a superhero who got a big time government job, and he's like, hey, I ain't trying to.
Hey, did he have his braces on?
He a human though. They didn't show him.
They ain't show legs now. Okay.
They didn't show enough. Like they showed like jacket.
Okay.
Even when he was on the phone, it was
with
just
Nick,
like yeah. But he could have had his pants on over it.
Weren't they a little bit too? No, he was able to have him underneath it by then. That's right. Okay.
He was, but like again, and then what I'm pissed off, because I like Rhodey in general. Don Cheadle, one of my favorite actors. I like Rhodey. I like his quips and everything. So when he first got on the screen, you know what I'm saying? He hitting back at the government. I'm like, hell yeah, you can check them niggas, bro. Like they trying to come at you and your nigga first, Nick. And he seemed like he was on Nick's side. But then soon as him and Nick had that meeting, that shit changed. I was like, God dang, bro.
But like I said, I think we brought up two very good scenarios where he couldn't. One, he could be very much a Skrull. You gotta get the nigga off your. You gotta get him off your
on the side of the Skrull.
Or two, he knew he being watched,
so
and you gotta play it up as hard as you can to try, like you said, to try to save him.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. The thing is, like, nigga, it's Nick. Like, it's been I don't know how many years, but you get called like, hey, Nick Fury's starting problems in Moscow. Why is he here?
Right.
Like, now you gotta. Okay, all right. You calling the police like, I mean, the president like, I'm gonna handle this because I don't know why he's here.
But see, the only reason why I can't lean to that, because didn't they kind of similarly do that in Winter Soldier?
Because he ended up having to go on the run.
Well, they thought he was but they was faking like he was dead. Remember?
Oh, Nick.
Yeah. I mean, it's still similar because
that's also like, in my theory of Skrull history is if Nick is a Skrull, that's pretty much
when it happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the faking his death.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much when he happened.
Yeah. So yeah.
And also like my theory in that is if the Skrull that was Nick is the one that got blipped. And that's what the motherfucker was, because he couldn't tell Nick, like, bro, I'm going. You know
that's what I. So
Nick
that's
has been
the
on
theory.
the ship also. Nick, so if this is the real Nick, he really don't know what the fuck been going on, because ain't nobody been able to tell him shit. You know what I'm saying?
The biggest theory, even before this started, was that Nick has been in space since Captain Marvel. And that was the moment that he left out, and then he did a switch. He had a Skrull turn into him to be on Earth. So that would lean into that Skrull. That was him this whole time was the one that got blipped.
Right.
The only thing that throws that a little into a loop, and I guess you can definitely explain it with some creative storytelling, is, okay, so when he came back, from what we saw in Spider-Man, was that was sort of the next evolution. Like he was talking. That's when he started talking about how he had all these extraterrestrial threats and stuff that they were going up into space. If he's been there for so long, where's that one at now?
The one that's in space?
No, like the Skrull Nick Fury. You think he's supposed to be also in space?
Well, I think when he came. So here's we haven't seen a Skrull when they get blipped, when they come back, what happens?
And that's what I'm thinking.
My thing is this was always my theory with that is that when you get blipped back, you come blipped back as your normal self, right? So meaning that Skrull would have been blipped back as Nick Fury. I mean, as a Skrull, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I don't turn back to Nick Fury. Maybe I just go. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm assuming.
Because you wouldn't know who. Yeah, because I mean, if you pop back in the world immediately, you're gonna damn near turn into somebody. Like if you just around people, you're not gonna be a Skrull.
Yeah, I guess still the general public still obviously doesn't know.
Yeah, doesn't know.
And because you know as Nick Fury, I wouldn't come back as Nick Fury immediately if I pop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you like niggas looking for me now. I been gone. So it's like other Nick don't know I'm gone. Like you know what I'm saying? Like so it's like I wouldn't come back immediately being Nick because then you are like. Where the fuck you been? Everybody finna be on your ass, and then you just got blipped like everybody. You know what I'm saying?
And it just with like all these movies and shows that we've been getting. They didn't show Nick Fury coming back, did they? So you know how like we saw Monica Rambeau come back and it was all that chaos, and then we saw Yelena come back. You know what I'm saying? Not Yelena. Was that who was in the bathroom that came back? Yelena. When Yelena came back, did we see the moment that Nick came back?
I don't think they ever show. That's what I said. They rarely show a comeback
because he didn't show up in Endgame at all. I don't think he was in Endgame at all. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, he would have came back with everybody.
Yeah, he sure would have. So like I said, that can kind of lean into the Skrull thing. Like
I just still don't understand why. The only thing about the whole blip still is the fact that it hasn't been explained where the fuck they was at.
There was a void. I'm assuming it was just a void of consciousness.
Like, was it? Was I saying like was it?
Well, you know, I can't say.
No, they did. The theory was that they were in the Soul Stone.
Yes and no. So,
but as a group, like they all knew everybody was there.
Well, here's the thing. This is why it throws it off, and it does ask a question because they didn't necessarily say it. But if I'm not mistaken, somebody was like, "Yeah, they got it. We was ready to come out the circle to fight." Like everybody grouped together. Like you got to think, you had when they came back in Endgame, like nigga, they had factions. Yeah, Wakanda and them came back together all as one. Then you had all the
from what we saw from everything else.
The niggas was in formation.
But to be fair, from what we saw from everything else, everybody appeared back where they were. So damn near Doctor Strange came back.
But he also. But okay, so did they come back and then Doctor Strange said, "Okay, everybody get together. I'm gonna set up a portal. We gonna meet." Or did they all just come back when they came back? Did they all come back from the blip like that? Now the question is like,
I think they did. So I think the way it looks like, at least my assumption. So like I said, we could tell from the people that we saw come back, they seem to appear back where they were blipped from. So my assumption was that when Doctor Strange appeared back, because remember all the other sorcerers was the one who were opening all the portals. So when he appeared back, he probably went to Khmer Taj, got all of them like, we got to go do this fight. Took them to eat. They know where all people are appearing at, going to all these different locations, and that's what's bringing them through. That's why they appeared as factions.
That, but like, how much time did they have that? Because
it was a good amount of time.
Because not only does Doctor Strange have to come back, then he got to explain to everybody what's going on, right? Explaining that in
hold on. Let me amount of time though.
Hold on. That's he got to explain people like what's going on, right? Then he got to map out the plan. Then he got to send them to the respective locations. Then they got to explain to everybody. Okay, this is what we about to do. Everybody get together. I got to open this up. We got to go help Steve. That's my phone.
You don't even know who Thanos is. No, but so like you guys snap come back like I was a nigga named Thanos. Like whoa, like no one did this.
There's a whole lot.
But I'm saying there was a decent amount of time. Cause remember when Hulk did the snap, it all happened. And then the Thanos attacked, and they were fighting Thanos for a good amount of time. Cause remember Hulk did it. They had all the thing. Remember, Scott was looking out. It was Scott who was looking out the window because you could hear the birds coming back. Remember, everything sounded peaceful. They all looking. Then that's when the attack happened. Yeah. And they fought for a good amount of time. They fought for like I want to say in actual screen time a good like 30 minutes.
Without everybody coming.
Without everybody. Because remember, it was just.
Because remember, because it was literally just Thor. He exploded the compound, right? Remember, Who was stuck under the rubble? Ant-Man,
Rocket,
yeah,
and Rhodey, I thought.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Thor got packed out.
Remember, that's what I'm saying. Thor and Captain America were fighting Thanos for a good minute.
Thor got packed out. Captain America got packed out. Then he picked up the
That's when he picked up the
Mjolnir.
And
he
they
did
were
his
fighting
thing,
for a
but then he
good
got
minute.
packed out again.
Right.
And then he was ready to do another grandstand, and then that's when he heard on your left.
And that's what I'm saying. That was like a good. Let's go pedestrian. 20 minutes.
Okay.
You get blip, and you know not regular people, because yes, we're gonna have questions. A nigga who can fight, who ready to fight, you get packed up, come back.
But what if this is like first day out of training, and then they telling you, I feel like somebody gonna have some questions like, wait, hold on.
The only person you gotta convince are the sorcerers. Because everybody at Wakanda know what happened, because he came and invaded Wakanda.
But everybody from Wakanda didn't get blipped, and that's my thing. How to gather everybody in one spot? That takes a lot.
When all your people back, I feel like y'all not ready for y'all not gonna be ready for the fight.
Fam, if you telling me that I just been in darkness for like 5 years, and I just wake up and I'm back at where I was at, I'm gonna think I was asleep.
Well,
I'm gonna think it was a dream.
How did it feel for them? But remember, for them, it didn't feel like 5 years.
I think it felt almost instant.
It feels
so
like
that's what I'm saying.
It feels like they got snapped.
You come back, you like, bro, hey, let's go do that.
No, that's even worse.
That is me.
If you said a blip for them was like a blink,
but
you coming back and be like, now you gotta tell me like, wait, it's 5 years later? Wait,
but that's what I'm saying. That was probably the 30. That was probably the 30 minutes. Like, bro, what you mean it's 5 years later? Then now you mad. Now you like, right, I gotta go do that.
Y'all told me. Now you tell me they think you had old boy from Ant-Man explaining this shit to everybody. Like,
they just played and recording the dude.
No, that is the podcast. Remember you had a podcast.
Right, they just played that.
Oh, times 10.
That always throw me off, because I mean, even in what y'all saying that, like, that would just mean that no one even looked for, like, I don't like it. That throw me off, but it does make me feel like that Nick wasn't available. That really wasn't Nick then.
I don't think
right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no.
That after a snap, that Nick would definitely, real Nick would have been like, look, dog, I don't know what the fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta, because you already been, you know about these threats, so this threat came and wiped you out.
No, that makes sense. No, you're.
So the fact that he didn't appear is like, well, somebody at the door?
I think it's just people walking out.
Oh. But like the fact that he didn't appear with them to fight in Endgame, man, like that Nick got the fuck, like, bro, I'm not built for this one. I gotta get the real Nick, nigga.
Right.
No, that part do make sense. I'll give you that.
But like you said, it leads to, like, you know what I'm saying, like, my theory, because knowing what the Secret Invasion storyline is, again, if right now where we're at, if I had to put my money on to two people that are Skrulls, I am going Nick Fury and Rhodey for me. Those are the two that I'm assuming are Skrulls at this point.
Like that we've seen in the series, or just in general?
In general, as of right now. If I have to base it off of all of
I'm
MCU
for sure with you
and
on
everything,
Rhodey.
Nick Fury and Rhodey.
Nick, I'm not giving it because of the wife thing. Like, because even if you're saying, because even if we're putting into the idea that the wife is secretly planning as a Skrull and Nick doesn't know.
Well, I don't think if I'm going off of my theory, I think that he knows. But if I'm
they're just like a Skrull couple playing that.
Mm-hmm. If I'm going off my theory, I think that he knows. Based off of how they showed us, it doesn't look like he don't know though.
That could make sense.
That could make sense.
I like that idea.
But how many Eagles y'all giving this so far? But we do the first two episodes in general, the series.
I mean, it's a 5 to me, but it's just a confusing 5. It's so much anticipation in there.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 5 because it's still, even though it's different from the comic book, and I know a lot of people get upset about that, it's still capturing the essence. When the comic book run was going, the confusion in the comic book in the comic book community about who's Skrull? Wait, what? Like that. And this is still giving us that. And gotta think also, for the longest, I mean, one of the things that people been knocking about Marvel in general is they were saying like things are getting predictable, things are not really, it's kind of lackluster, and we haven't had a good thing since, I want to say, WandaVision, where we was like every episode or everything
really questioning
because even in Moon Knight we was like, oh, yo, this is dope, but we didn't have like the questions like that.
Yeah.
But like WandaVision gave us so many questions every week, like Mephisto, that's Mephisto, like, so this is capturing that essence, and I give it a 5.
It came in hot like that too.
It came in
like
immediately.
It's been like you said, it's been a long time since you watched something where you like, damn, do I gotta rewatch that shit?
Yeah.
Didge, what's your Eagle rating?
I'll give it a 5. Just like you said, a lot for the same reason that you guys did. I came in immediately with questions.
Yep.
And obviously, so far, really nothing's been answered. So it keeps you wanting to watch, so that way you can try to figure this out or look for clues.
It's what show was that? Was it Game of Thrones where it was like, where it's like you get a question at the end of an episode, and then the next episode,
yeah, that was pretty much Game of
Thrones. But
Thrones.
then you leave with more questions again. Like what? Like I still got questions.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to know from y'all though. Like couple of questions.
Who do y'all think are Skrulls?
Who do y'all think are Skrulls? I want to hear your biggest theory too. Like, give us a detailed description of one of the people you choose to Skrull. Like, when do you think they became a Skrull and why? Like, I definitely want to know that. Let us know your ego rankings in the comments and everything. And then also, like the overall, what do you think this series is going to leave us with? Because I want to, because now that's what I'm thinking when it's done.
This is a really, because I mean, and that's what I was going to ask before we leave too. Like, is this the first of the next phase, or was Ant-Man the first of the phase? Well, I thought Ant-Man was the end of the phase, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
No, Ant-Man was the first, because remember Wakanda Forever was the end of last phase.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because that was phase.
Ant-Man's the first of it. Okay, so because that's what I'm saying. Like, so for me, like that's what I'm saying. For me, it's like knowing, like that this is now a new phase.
Yeah.
Like,
and
we know so many things really in this phase. So it's like, how does this really?
Yeah, because that's another thing people was knocking about this phase. They was like, bro, we don't even know where we're going, because remember, for the most part, for Marvel, like we know the titles that we're going, but for the most part, MCU has always given us like they're working towards something, right?
Well, remember this whole saga. Well, they already detailed it as the multiverse saga.
And so we were dealing with multiple threats, multiple stories.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that's what the knock was, you know. And then when Ant-Man came out, everybody was like, okay, fine, at least we get in the King area. But now, like knowing what's crazy is that the way that Marvel's setting up is like a triple layer cake. They're setting up the King invasion, which is going to go into the Secret Invasion, which is going to go into eventually, Secret Wars.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's like you setting up three big events, like literally.
There isn't really nothing. I mean, and we're gonna keep talking, but I'm like, there isn't nothing to Loki that really might even touch Kang again.
Well, technically it should.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But we don't know.
But we don't know. That's what I'm saying.
No,
like,
Loki for sure. They already did the synopsis.
So Loki, really crazy.
Loki for sure is touching it because
I know, but I'm saying we don't know how it's going to touch it. How big?
Yeah.
But it definitely it's supposed to. Because Loki was the kick off the King.
So it's like that's what I'm saying. There's so many because like this being, and that's why I'm really worried about this. I'm not worried, but I'm like the fact that 6 episodes is like. You definitely finna leave us off something.
Well, yes and
no.
No. Each episode has been hard hitting. So this may be 6 hard hitting fucking episodes. Like, this may rival WandaVision with how hard hitting these episodes. Because these first 2 episodes.
And they both been hour episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like you giving all hours. You giving all hours.
So man, let us know, man. But as always, this is the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. And we are out.
Peace.